All right, welcome everybody. I think people are jumping in. As people are jumping in, I just want to take a second to say welcome. My name's Jordan. I'm with Laundromat Resource, and let me introduce you to Sivan. How are you doing, Sivan?
I'm doing really well. Thanks, Jordan.
Awesome.
Super
You
excited to
ready?
be here.
Yeah, you ready to talk about technology?
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love technology, especially as it applies to laundry.
Absolutely, which is kind of funny. It's kind of a little bit of a foreign concept, but should be a lot of fun. So while we're getting started and people are jumping in, we already have a bunch jumping in. Do me a favor and let me know in the chat over there if you're tuning in here. Where in the world are you? Where are you tuning in from? I always love to hear where people are at. I personally am in Orange County, California, sunny SoCal. Where are you at, Savon?
I'm actually in New York. So originally from Southern California, but currently in New York.
Oh, you're a traitor.
I know
But
I crossed coast, but my
oh,
Wi-Fi password is still West Coast, Best Coast. So, you know.
okay. All right. All right. Well, that's what I want to hear is that where your heart, your body can be wherever, but where's your heart? And that's West Coast, Best Coast. Okay, I like that. All right, we're coming in. We got some other people on your coast over there. We got Arizona over here on this side, and probably from all over. So keep letting us know where you guys are tuning in from. But I don't want to delay us too much because I know we have a lot of material to get through today. So real quick, let me just pull this up real quick. I don't know what I did with it. I have too many tabs open. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. I want to tell you guys a little bit about who Sivan is. And then I want to give her a chance to let us know who she really is. Let me tell you what her bio looks like. It says this: Sivan has spent the last 10 years working with small businesses, starting a career as a publicist for a small California-based wineries. Oh, all right. And later moving into the world of technology at Ivy, a business management software for interior designers. Working at Ivy in house, she saw firsthand the incredible impact that software technology and automation can have on small businesses. Joined Sense earlier this year, transitioned her focus on helping small businesses to the laundromat industry as director of operations at Sense. That seems like kind of a big deal, actually. Director of operations. It's like, man. Sivan oversees the customer success department, everything related to the customer's experience at Sense. So obviously your credentials are top notch, but tell us really, who are you? Who is Sivan really?
So I'm Sivan, really great to be here and meet everybody. As Jordan already mentioned, I am originally from LA. I've been in New York for the last 5 years. And a couple of things about me. I joined Sense earlier this year and was just super excited to have the opportunity to build something from the ground up, especially just the customer success experience. Coming from other companies, I saw firsthand how much room there is to improve. And I really wanted to build the best thing out there, best customer experience. So that's currently what I'm focused on. I live in Brooklyn. I have a dog named Brooklyn. I love New York. And that's a couple of things about me. I love working at Suns personally, and I'm excited and so happy to be working so closely with incredible laundromat owners, dry cleaners, and everybody in between.
I mean, it's sounding less and less like your heart it really is on the West Coast. I mean, no, very cool. And man, I am just super pumped to have this conversation with you. I thought, I know, as we were kind of chatting about this a little bit and about what direction we would take this thing, there's kind of two main avenues that we can talk about with tech. One is, on the customer side of things, how is tech helping laundromat owners, reach customers and serve customers better? And the others on, the other side of things, which is for owners, and how is tech helping owners improve their businesses? And I thought we could take at least the beginning here to start on the customer side of things and talk about how laundromat owners can utilize tech to help reach customers and to serve customers better. And if we have time, I know there's like tons to talk about in each of these. Probably each should be their own webinar, and they may end up having to be. If we have time, we'll go to the other one. But before we jump into it, I just want to say real quick, I have the chat open on my computer here. And so if at any point throughout this, if you're watching this or listening to this and you have questions about maybe something Sivan's talking about, or just it springs something to mind, I've got my eye on the chat. So throw your questions in the chat there. I will keep an eye on them and I will interject them as appropriate. And if there's not like a natural flow, we'll try to save a little bit of time at the very end to answer those remaining questions. And I also have, oh, look at that, Dave Mintz is here.
Dave,
You got the Laundromat millionaire in the house. All right.
Hi, Dave.
So put those questions in the chat and we'll get them in there. Okay. And we also have, I was going to say, we also have a magical fairy who may be able to answer some of your questions also in the chat. All right. With all that said, let's talk about sort of the customer experience and, how can we utilize technology to better serve our customers? Why don't you kick us off with that?
Yeah. So first and foremost, obviously we live in the 2000s, right? Technology is surrounding us all around. I always see people talking about zombie mats, right? And how they're not really a place that you want to bring customers into. Customers aren't feeling the desire to enter them. They're not really looking super modern. And one of the things that technology can really help you do is just drive a better customer experience that is going to be more desirable for at least the factor or the subset of audience members that you want to bring into your laundromat, those customers. There's so many different ways that you can drive a positive customer experience. And I specifically want to dive into a few separate elements of it. We're not just talking about a beautiful laundromat, with plants or a yellow wall or something like that that's warm. We're actually just talking about what happens when your customer enters in the laundromat to place an order, to drop off an order, and how is technology interwoven into every single thing that they experience with your laundromat from that point forward. So we can start specifically, Jordan. I don't know if you want to kind of dive into maybe the customization element of it and how important that could be. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is one of the big questions I get, particularly from people who are maybe have even a little bit of experience. When people are, I find that when people are getting started in pickup and delivery, kind of the cookie cutter stuff is good. And then once they get their feet under them a little bit, they're looking for ways to customize. And I see a lot of people trading around different technology solutions, searching for that. So maybe you can address, some of the customization options that are available in there with Sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not just about Sense, really. I want you to be able to think about these aspects of how you can create a better customer experience just across the board for any laundromat owner, whether that is through Sense or otherwise. One of the greatest things that you can do as an operator is giving your customers the ability to customize their packages. Think about anything that you order today as a modern day consumer, whether it's a DoorDash burger and you have the ability to add or remove options, or whether you're simply building a custom package somewhere. With laundry, I think it's incredibly important for your customers to feel like they're in control. Laundry is so personal to people. And I do actually want to tell you about one of the best experiences that I had with this, and really the way that I saw the power of Sense firsthand as a customer myself, is I went to a laundromat and I saw they had a list of all of the different the works, so to speak, of how I could potentially increase, or not increase, but enhance my laundry experience to my liking. So for example, they had wool balls, like dryer balls, instead of dryer sheets, if that was something that I was interested in. They had all of the different heat preferences, all of the different wash temperature preferences, specific detergent preferences. And this customization is something that I think consumers are not just keen to nowadays, but are expecting from a concierge type service, right? So what I love to position this as is using modifiers, which are these kind of quiet upsells, to do exactly that, to quietly upsell your customers so that their custom requests are being heard, they are getting the laundry the way that they want it to be done. And most importantly, because we're talking about profit here, you want to make sure that you are covering your costs as an operator. You don't just want to be throwing bleach in for free. You don't want to be, using a higher power dryer temperature. You really want to make sure that you are taking those costs and incorporating them into the package that your customer is building. So one of the, again, greatest examples I see of this is having a basic wash, dry, fold package. This is generic detergent. This is the wash temperature preferences that I choose as an operator. This is the dryer preferences. But hey, you want bleach? No problem. Bleach is going to cost you 10 cents a pound. How about you want Gain detergent instead of my generic detergent? Awesome. That's going to be another 15 cents a pound. You want a hot wash? Another 25 cents a pound. All of these kinds of ideas, free and clear detergent, no heat dry, stain treatment, rush service. The options are literally endless on how you can incorporate these costs into your baseline wash, dry, fold package and allow your customers to have that custom concierge experience with laundry. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's awesome because, number one, that just sounds like overwhelming, right? To have to try to navigate that on your own and to try to figure out how to communicate that to your attendants and to make sure that gets done properly. And, all that sounds like crazy overwhelming, but having the customer having the ability to just, designate, here's what I want. And not only that, but I've seen plenty of situations where a customer will ask for something that I've never done before, but it's, easy to add, like, maybe they want like a odorless, detergent and
free and clear.
Yeah, free and clear. And I don't have that option. Well, it's something that I can add in there, no problem. And now it's there for kind of the long haul. And that allows you to kind of start with, like we were talking about, start with that base of here's what a wash, dry, fold, or, a standard pickup and delivery looks like.
Yeah.
And you can add stuff kind of going on from there and build into that. You don't have to start with the full works, from the get-go. So I really like that and the ability for it to scale with you and to grow with you.
Absolutely. And again, anecdotally, this kind of customization, especially I think in bigger cities where you have perhaps a audience of millennials or, high income, no children. I don't know what the terminology is, but people who are willing to spend more money on these services. Dinks. Thank you. People who are willing to spend more money on these services. We have an operator in Manhattan who literally his average order per pound is $3 per pound. And that's not just because he's in Manhattan, sure, but that's also because he has these custom preferences that his customers are used to. And they are repeatedly coming back to him for these orders because they know that their laundry is going to be done exactly the way that they want it to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And having the customization options, just like you're saying, it just adds like so much to your business, right? You think like 10 cents for bleach here, 15 cents for Gain there. But, when you pull that out over, the average spend, per customer and then the lifetime value of your customer and on and on and on, it ends up being, pretty significant, but it also allows you to serve your customer better and give them what they want. So it's kind of a win-win for both you and your customers.
Absolutely. And I'll just say it's super easy to do in Sense. Also, if you are utilizing the online order experience, your customers themselves can choose exactly which add-ons they want to add. So of course, you can always incorporate these kinds of ideas into any system that you're using. But it is super easy for your customers to see explicitly how they can customize it themselves.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, can we chat just a little bit about, you don't even know what we want to chat about yet. Don't say yes.
But we could talk about anything, Jordan.
Can we chat about neurophysics for a second? I mean, is that cool? Can we?
I'll dial a friend in that case.
Okay, call a friend. No, can we chat a little bit about, customer experience and how technology can, enhance the customer experience, in general. I mean, obviously adding modifiers and customizations and that stuff, that's one piece of customer experience. Maybe we can kind of, pull out a little bit further and talk a little more broadly about customer experience.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, I want to kind of take a couple different avenues here. But one of the main things that I want to say is that it is everything about your brand is all about how your customer interacts with it, right? From the moment they find you on Google, do you have a Google presence? Are there photos, et cetera? How are they finding you? We could talk a whole other session about that. But really the brand that you present is super important. And again, using technology is going to just enhance your customer experience in so many ways. So one of the things that I do love about the Sense order experience for customers is the fact that your customers are able to get a text message when their order has been submitted, when they drop it off, and they can track their order every single point of the process, whether that is it's begun processing, whether that processing has been completed, it's time to come pick it up, they can apply promotions, etc. But having their unique online order link is something that, again, most consumers are now just accustomed to. How many times have you tracked your Uber before it comes to you? How many times have you looked up your food delivery to make sure that it's on the way? It's the same kind of idea of understanding where your order is at any given moment. Your customer's experience with your brand, again, is super important, not just from this live order experience, the live link, but from the moment that they walk in. I mentioned earlier that experience that I had as a drop-off customer at a local laundromat. I do want to talk a little bit about their intake experience and how much it stood out to me as a consumer. I have done wash, dry, fold at my local mat, for the last several years. And I finally decided to just try another one that was famous here in Brooklyn. They did such a detailed intake process. It literally took 7 minutes. I timed it because I was really curious. It took 7 minutes and they walked through an entire questionnaire of how my clothes should be handled, whether I had any gym clothes, whether I had any special care instructions or preferences. And of course, not every mat can afford to have a 7-minute intake process with their customers, but this experience stood out to me so deeply. I knew without any hesitation that my laundry was going to be taken care of, right? Obviously, their prices are a little bit higher, but it was something that was an incredible experience for me walking into their mat and having that feeling of comfort and safety. I hope I'm not just like blabbling on here. So please stop me if I need to be stopped, but,
oh, I will.
Okay. But with the customer experience as well, again, so once that intake process happens, they get a text message letting them know everything about their order. And what I love about this as well is if you're not doing a prepay, or pay upon drop off, your customers have the ability to actually pay online through this link, add promotions. And anecdotally, what we're finding is that a lot of the customers are finding this naturally. They're just going to the link and they're seeing that they can enter in their credit card information. And that pickup, that time that they're coming to come back to pick up the order is just simply cut in half. You don't need to go show the credit card, get the receipt, et cetera. Everything is already paid for. So the customer's coming in, it's a positive experience for them. They're going, grabbing their cart, their laundry bag, knowing that the order is already paid for. And with this as well, when they add their cart, they can actually store it on file. I don't know how many of you guys are a shopaholic, online shopaholic like I am, but let me tell you, one of the most dangerous experiences for me is having a stored credit card on file, because it makes it that much easier for me to have a repeat business, and, you know, become a repeat customer, knowing that I can literally have everything taken care of and I don't even need to carry my wallet with me when I go into the store.
Well, that's super huge because I mean, I think about my like Amazon experience, right? It's like
Yeah.
you get that one click order thing and you know, there have literally been times like if my card expires or whatever and I go to order something on Amazon and they're like, "Okay, you have to, you know, input your credit card information." And then I'm like, "You know, I don't really want it that bad to go find my wallet and type in like 50 different numbers and you know
Yeah.
but there I mean there's genuinely something to be said for just removing that friction, the ease of use, how easy it is to order, and especially the people who are going to be doing drop off orders and especially I think pickup and delivery are the people who are busy. They don't have a lot of time and you know
Yeah.
maybe they're dinks, dual income, no kids, right? And they just are working a lot and then they want to go enjoy their off time or
Yeah.
maybe they have a big family or whatever the case may be, college students and they got midterms coming up, whatever, right? Whatever the case may be, whoever the demographic is, you know, removing the friction, making it as easy as possible
Yeah.
and making the customer feel as comfortable as possible. Uh, it genuinely is half the battle right there, right? If they can order, you know, if they can set themselves up one time and then they can just kind of click a button to order,
Yeah.
then holy cow, you're in really good shape.
Yeah, and with that as well, you know, one of the things that I personally have experienced with my local mat that doesn't offer this, they do post pay, so I'll pay upon pickup. Oftentimes I'm walking my dog, I walk by the laundromat and I'm like, oh my God, I have laundry I need to go pick up. Obviously, I don't know this. They didn't text me letting me know that my laundry is ready for pickup. And I constantly realize I can't go pick it up. I don't have my credit card on me. I don't have my wallet. So it delays it another day. It delays it another day. And so my laundry is just sitting there done. Anecdotally, one of my favorite operators in LA, other than Jordan, of course, and OC, he had told me a while back that they're actually noticing that their pickup time has decreased significantly because now customers are being notified when their laundry is ready for pickup. They're coming back, they're picking it up. They don't have a storage rack. They barely have any room to store these orders. So that faster pickup time is something that is helping them just work more efficiently. And one last thing that he had mentioned as well, which I loved, is, you know, when that customer accesses their text message and their live link, they see straight in the face, if you wanted them to, the ability to add a tip. And he was like, we are seeing so many more tips coming in for the attendants. So the attendants love it because then they can just literally click in and add a tip, while, or the customer can do that while they're seeing that their order is ready for pickup, even before they get into the store.
Yeah, that's awesome. And somebody just asked, can you do that in English and Spanish?
Yes. Oh my God, I love this question. Yeah. So when you create a customer in your system,
Uh-huh.
you can select their language, whether their default language should be English or Spanish. The language that you select will actually send the text message communication in either English or Spanish. So yes, exactly that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know. It was actually one of the most exciting questions I've gotten.
And can I use that to help me learn my Spanish? It's like,
I know.
throw me in the fire. I have got to know Spanish. Otherwise, I cannot get my laundry back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, there's a whole lot. And somebody had mentioned on the Q&A there, like if your card reader goes offline for some reason, you know, or
Yeah.
somebody forgets their credit card, having that stuff stored and being able to, you know, just click the button basically and have it paid for is, again, taking out the friction and removing the headaches from all that. Real quick, going right back to the English, Spanish, are there any other languages that are incorporated right now?
Not at this time, but we're looking for demand. We haven't gotten really any requests for other languages. If we get enough demand for another language, we'll do it, but English and Spanish by and large has been obviously the most prevalent demographic for laundry customers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, chalk me up for Pig Latin. Put me down on that one. I want it there. All my 90s, friends can order Spanish and or order laundry in Pig Latin. It would be great. Okay. So all right. So we're talking about, the customer experience here. We've gone through a bunch of stuff. Can we talk a little bit about, I think you kind of mentioned this, but can we talk a little bit about like promotions and how that could work?
Yeah, definitely. So again, what we're talking about here is really understanding how technology can help you grow your business, right? And again, it can be through any system that you're using. These are just ideas that you can utilize to try to drive more traffic. So a couple things, again, I'm a self-confessed shopaholic online and I love a good deal. But there's so many ways that you can use promotions to drive more business to your store. So I want to break this down into actually like three different categories. One is simply driving traffic to your store on slower days. Another one is how you can convert self-serve customers to wash, dry, fold customers. And then I do also want to talk a little bit about paid advertising or just general online advertising and dedicated promotions. So I'm going to start with incentivizing people to come in on slower days. I know when I say this, it kind of sounds like a no-brainer, but one of the best things that you can do is make sure that your attendants are working when they are set to be working, right? Wednesdays maybe are your slower days. So you're not seeing as many drop-off orders come in or something like that. Try to take a bird's eye view of your business and understand what those slow days are, what they mean for you and your business. And one of my favorite operators down in the Virginia, Maryland area actually does like half price Wednesdays. Obviously, you don't need to do something that extreme, but offering a promotion for a specific day of the week where someone can come in, drop off their laundry on that slower day can really, really serve to benefit you in terms of bringing in more business on these days of the week where your attendance might just be, not as busy as they could be per se. Now with the promotions that we have through Sense or the promotion system that we have, it's super easy. I'm not going to dive into it. It's super easy to customize what days of the week these coupons can be used, these promotions can be used, how many times they can be used per customer. So we actually store that information just to make sure if it's like a one-time use, they're not using it again. And over what period of time that promotion can be used. So really, really just make sure that you're utilizing the labor that you have in store on those slower days. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's huge because, obviously for most laundromats, the weekends are the busiest time and, you can get people stacked up, you can get people waiting and that's just, not great for business. And in fact, I was just talking with a couple operators this past weekend who are out in your neck of the woods in New York, New Jersey, and they have two that are like a few miles away and they were running some promotions, trying to get some, people midweek, from the weekends to the midweek. And they said what happened was it worked and more people started coming midweek, but then new people started coming in and filling in the weekends. And it turned out that they were just kind of passing by on the weekends because there just wasn't room for them those days. So that's a huge ability to offer those midweek promotions for your business. Yeah,
absolutely. And if it's something that you want to try once and see how it goes, start with like a 20% off, something that isn't going to really hurt your bottom line and see how that goes. And, do it one time only for the first Wednesday of the month or something, but just really utilize promotions to try to drive traffic on those days where you could really use it.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah. My second way for promotions.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That's what I was going to ask you about. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Great minds think alike.
So do ours, apparently. I don't know. Usually great minds, it is what it is.
So my second favorite way to utilize promotions is by utilizing promotions to convert self-serve customers into wash, dry, fold customers. Obviously, this is the dream. Yes, you want your machine spinning, but the amount of money that you're making incrementally from these drop-off orders is just higher than your self-serve customer orders. Now, anecdotally, again, I don't have the science, the studies behind this, but this is coming from one of our largest operators. We hear that it takes 3 experiences for something to develop into a new habit. So 3 times for a self-serve customer to do wash, dry, fold, for them to become a full-time wash, dry, fold customer. Again, anecdotal, no science behind it. I'm just, telling you what my biggest operator is telling us. So one of the ways that you can do this is to incentivize your new drop-off wash, dry, fold customers to convert to, your new customers by offering them 3 times 50% off. And again, you can customize the code. You can say this 50% off coupon can only be used 3 times, for a new customer, for these dates, etc. And you want to make it as approachable as possible for them to start using your drop-off service. You want to wow them with that drop-off service, but you really just want to make it a little bit easier of a transition. And offering a dramatic discount like that is something that can really, really help convert them into that full-time wash, dry, fold customer. So hopefully that positive experience that you're going to deliver through your drop-off services will lead them to at least utilizing your drop-off services way more frequently.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's a good piece of advice, especially for someone who's maybe trying to get their wash, dry, fold off the ground. One of your best sources of initial customer base. Now, obviously, not everybody who's doing self-service is going to be the right demographic for that drop-off service, but some will. And that some can become a foundation for that part of your business. And then, once you're ready to start offering, pickup and delivery, that wash, dry, fold, not everybody, but some of those people will be the basis for, the base layer for your pickup and delivery too. So, utilizing promotions to convert the appropriate people from one to the next and then to the next is a huge capability that's not super easy to do without the right technology, I think.
100%. And I love that you even talked about pickup and delivery, because it might be about like, okay, how do you get these customers to convert to wash, dry, fold? You ask them, you offer them, you print out a little pamphlet and you tell them, hey, your first 3 orders, just mention the promo 50 off and you're going to get 50% off your wash, dry, fold order. And it's the same thing when you're trying to explore delivery, right? You ask your customers, you tell them about it. You need to educate them, the ones that are already in the store. So I love that you even just talked about that with pickup and delivery.
Thank you. I mean, it's what I do. All right. Talk to us about the third thing that you're super excited about for promos.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know digital marketing is something that can be a little bit of a scary topic, and I'm not an expert in digital marketing. I just know that if you, we have people on our team who you can always like pick their brain about, and, companies like Spinner that we can always refer you to, right? But one of the things that you can use promotions to do is really just measure your return on your investment from these marketing efforts. So understanding how, if you're putting a promotion on Facebook, not paid, just on your Facebook page, if you're putting a promotion on your Instagram, if you're putting a promotion through email, having a dedicated promo code for each of those avenues of advertising or just publicity is something that will allow you to measure how effective, how many customers came in from me posting this on my Facebook page, really understanding where you're getting that traffic from your online efforts and doubling down on it from there. So before you even spend money on advertising, see where that traction's coming in from, see where those customers are finding you. And then you can kind of use that information to double down and ideally grow it, right? If you spend a little bit of money, you can really have a huge reach in especially smaller markets where there isn't that much competition, perhaps, something really, really just to consider as you're looking to grow your customer base.
Yeah, and it's huge. I mean, I think that is a relatively new frontier for our industry, for the laundromat industry,
100%.
in terms of, doing some digital marketing, online advertising, Google, Facebook, Instagram. People are doing Snapchat and TikTok ads. People are experimenting with different things to see what's working. And you're right, it can be a little bit scary. It can be a little bit overwhelming. But like you said, the data that you can get from these ads can really help you figure out exactly who your target audience is. And once you've kind of figured that out and what kind of messages they like to hear, then I mean, a whole wide world opens to you, and it can really grow your business really fast. And I really, I can't say too much about this, but I hear that there's more coming down the pipe with Sense to help, Sense operators with this. So just something to kind of be aware of if that's something that you maybe are struggling with or want to get into, but don't really know how. Like you said, right now, Sense has got some people you can kind of tap on their shoulder and get some input. But there's even more coming down the pipeline for you guys to help with that. So real quick, I want to just remind everybody, hey, keep the questions coming. If you have questions as Sivan's talking or just as your brain is working, hopefully it's making your juices flow and you're getting a lot of ideas and getting inspired. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Getting inspired, and hopefully, questions are coming up. So get them in there in that chat. I got my eyes on there, or in the question and answer thing. I got that too. Okay. So, all right, we talked about promos. I mean, we could do a whole webinar on promotional strategy and advertising strategy. We could do a whole lot of webinars on all of that. What else do we want to talk about here in terms of?
You want to talk about delivery? On-demand delivery?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Because one of the things that, again, I want you to just understand, I hope you will take away from today's webinar is really just understanding these kinds of ideas that you can incorporate into your business to grow it, right? How to grow a more profitable laundry business. And one of the biggest and best things that you can do is utilizing on-demand delivery. So I know delivery is a really scary word for some operators. I know historically it's meant renting a van or buying a van. It means I-9 drivers. It means insurance and gasoline and all of this logistical overhead. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, but what I do want to underscore is that it doesn't have to be that hard, right? We recently launched a partnership with DoorDash, and it's just one of the first several kind of gig economy partnerships that we have in the works in order to help facilitate on-demand delivery on behalf of laundromats. For many of our operators, they never did delivery before, and all of a sudden they are able to offer delivery to their customers on their customer schedule, not based on these time slots, the 8 to 10 window, the 12 to 2, really based on when the customer wants it. This is such an incredible offering for so many reasons. All that overhead that I talked about at the beginning is not even a consideration. It's literally just another way for you to drive volume to your store and expand your reach well beyond what you could have done with a van. Having the ability to service customers on the other side of town, up north, up south, wherever you might be, is a really, really amazing tool. Now, one of my favorite things about on-demand delivery is the cost differentiation here, right? You have the ability to make on-demand delivery really appealing to your customers, subsidizing what that delivery fee might be each way. But you can bake that cost of what it would normally cost for your customer to order the on-demand delivery. You can bake that cost into your baseline wash, dry, fold delivery package, right? There's no need for your delivery package to be the same as your drop-off package. It's a luxury service at that point. So bake it in, make it super appealing for these customers to order delivery through you, deliver an amazing product, and see the orders come in. Honestly, we have operators across the country who never had delivery before until they started using on-demand delivery, and are just incrementally seeing their average order size for these delivery orders increase. Especially for me, a consumer in a big city in New York, I know that if I'm sending out my delivery order, I'm either going to have a 20-pound minimum or a 30-pound minimum. It's going to be probably a higher minimum than what I normally would have just by dropping it off. And guess what? I am loading everything I have into that bag so that I can not only meet that minimum, but kind of get my money's worth from this service that I'm getting. So I can't underscore enough. On-demand delivery is an incredible way to grow your business and to appeal to a new demographic of laundry consumers.
Yeah, well, I've been saying for a little while that, kind of the trend towards, for laundromats right now is a trend towards pickup and delivery. And I think that is sort of the new frontier of this industry. And it is still new. I mean, we've been doing it for a little while now. There's there's quite a few like really, really good operators. I mean, Dave Menz, who was in here earlier, is one in Cincinnati. Waleed Cope is doing it out in your neck of the woods over there. And there's plenty of other people who are just, killing it in pickup and delivery. But yeah, and Ariana too.
Yeah,
and Ariana
in Laundry.
Yeah, and Laundry, who's in San Francisco. She is, I don't know if you're still, Ariana, maybe you can tell us, are you still using solely the on-demand?
I could tell you she is. Yeah.
So she's building her pickup and delivery solely on the on-demand feature, which is not available, as far as I know, on any other platform, at least right now. And so, but I will say too, like, while that's, yes, you are cool. And if you know Ariana or you follow her on anything, she is cool. And her laundromats are super cool.
Could I actually shout out something that she's doing, Ari? I hope you don't mind that I'm sharing this, but I think it's actually a really incredible way that she's driving awareness of delivery to her customers that are coming in. She's not doing any paid advertising or anything like that. She's literally just created these enormous flyers that are on the window. She's created custom QR codes so that people can easily scan next time around. If it's kind of like the positioning is like, why let us come to you, and she'll scan, her customers will scan the QR code and place their online delivery orders. So it's super, super convenient. She's also doing an incredible, not just subsidy, but promotion to try to drive adoption of pickup and delivery. Again, understanding that once her customers get a taste of it, they're coming back for more. So she's offering, I don't remember what the discount is, but a discount off of those first 1-2 delivery orders, just to get people in the door, get that experience, and know that they're going to come back for more.
Yeah, huge. So not only is she super cool, but she's super smart too.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and here's the thing too, is like when you're starting to get to like a point where you want to do pickup and delivery, right? First of all, I mean, it's a big deal. Like it's kind of a different business than running a laundromat, even than running a drop-off laundry service. It's a different business when you get into that, because it becomes a logistics business. Now you need a van. Now you need drivers. Now you need, to design routes that are going to optimize not only your driver's time, but these days your gas expenses, which is, insane right now.
Exorbitant in Southern California.
Yeah, crazy. And, and on, right? It's a big deal. Yeah. However, allowing that integration with DoorDash allows you to expand out the radius of your laundromat through offering on-demand pickup and delivery without the logistics part of the logistics business, and without having to go buy a van, and without having to hire drivers or drive around town yourself until you can scale up enough to hire some drivers, which is frankly been one of the really big obstacles for a lot of people trying to get in the pickup and delivery game.
Yeah, and even growing their existing pickup and delivery, like you mentioned Waleed earlier, the soapbox. I love the soapbox. Talk about customer experience between he and Ariana. They are king and queen, honestly, of customer experience. But with Waleed, he has his own drivers and he does his own pickup and delivery. I live in Brooklyn. He's in Brooklyn. I was never in the radius to be able to do pickup and delivery through his in-house drivers. He enabled DoorDash. Guess what? I was his first customer to do pickup and delivery through DoorDash. All of a sudden, his radius just expanded, like so significantly. He's getting orders from, the furthest point in North Brooklyn and all the way to South Brooklyn. So it's really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's pretty cool. I've had both Ariana and Waleed on the podcast. And Waleed's here also in the webinar. So what's up, both of you guys? But it's really cool because they're both using it so differently, right? Ariana is basically building her business, her pickup and delivery business off of that on-demand feature. And Waleed is kind of supplementing his already robust pickup and delivery business. And it's pretty cool, sort of the versatility of that feature. Can we get just a little practical here for a second?
Absolutely.
Somebody asked in the Q&A, can you give an example of what the upcharge would be for a DoorDash on-demand delivery? Is it a per pound? Is it a flat fee? How does that work?
Yeah. So I see this question. I want to clarify the question, but I'm going to just assume it's asking one of two things. The first asking what that per pound charge would be, right? Not just the cost of the DoorDash delivery. So the per pound charge, what I'm seeing by and large is there's at least a 50 cents upcharge versus drop off orders, at least. So if you're charging $1.25 for drop off, you're seeing at least $1.75 for pickup and delivery. And higher than that, honestly. Some operators are doing 75 cents more, et cetera. Now baking that cost, obviously you're appealing to a different demographic when you are doing pickup and delivery, especially one that's going further. Like a lot of Waleed's, the DoorDash customers he has are coming to him specifically for his services. So they're coming from super far. They would never go all the way to Brooklyn to drop off their laundry or their shoes. They're using the service. So it is an increased based cost on the drop off service itself. From a DoorDash cost, or at least an on-demand service cost, there is a baseline cost for the pickup and the delivery. But again, this is what I'm talking about. You have the ability to subsidize those to cover a portion of it in order to kind of bake in those earnings into your baseline wash, dry, fold order value. So
and there's multiple ways you can do that, right? You can kind of build in a slightly higher across the board pickup and delivery. So maybe 50 cents gets you where you want to be, but to cover, the DoorDash fee, the logistics fee, maybe you raise all your pickup and delivery an extra nickel or dime per pound, and that allows you to subsidize or cover the cost of those pickup and deliveries. I mean, you can allow the customer to pay that if you want to. Also, you can cover parts of it. There's a whole lot of versatility on the way that you can handle that, and a lot of it depends on what market you're in. There may be a point where customers are just used to door dashing things and paying that fee, right? And if they're just used to it, you may not have to supplement that at all because they already do it with their food. So why not with their laundry? It's kind of a bargain that way. So there's a whole bunch of different ways you can do it, and you can get real creative with it, and you can test different things and see what works, better than others, both in terms of volume of customers, but also in terms of profitability, because you got to find that balance, right? It doesn't do you any good to get a whole bunch of customers if you're not gaining any profit off of it. So you got to find that balance of profitability and customer acquisition. You had mentioned at one point, something that was happening with the on-demand orders and with those fees, a trend that you've been seeing customers do. Can you mention that here? I think people would be interested to hear about that.
In terms of the order value, right? Just make sure. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have our director of business development is, exploring all of these other partnerships with gig economy drivers, and just he decided to do an analysis. He was like, what's the average order value for drop-off customers versus on-demand pickup and delivery customers? And we were kind of blown away to find he did an analysis from start to finish of all-time orders on Sense, both drop off and on demand. We're seeing the average order values increase incrementally for on-demand delivery orders. So if people are paying a delivery fee, they're also sending more laundry to make up for it. And this has been one of the most exciting trends that we're seeing. And again, I mentioned this personally, when I was sending out my laundry, I had not only just a higher minimum for a delivery order, but I also, was paying $5 or something for that DoorDash fee. I was like, I'm sending my sheets, I'm sending my towels, I'm sending my roommate's laundry if I can. I really want to make sure that I'm getting my value from the cost that I'm paying. So I don't know if other people are thinking the way that I am, but the numbers aren't lying. We are seeing those average order size increase incrementally, which has been just one of the coolest things.
Yeah. So the DoorDash fee, is that based on distance, like it would be for Uber? So it doesn't really matter how much you send in. You can send in 100 pounds of laundry or 20 pounds of laundry, and the service fee is going to be the same. So what you're saying is customers are just loading up that DoorDash car because it's going to cost them the $5 one way or another.
Exactly. It is it's distance based, and again, it'll depend upon the market that you're in, et cetera. But yes, it's a baseline fee.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. All right, bring those questions in. I'm trying to save this last few minutes here for any questions you guys have. So if you have questions that you have for Sivan about Sense or about technology in general, or about astrophysics or neuroscience or anything like that, she loves to talk about that stuff too. She talk about anything really. But if there's any questions that you guys have there, I do have questions. I just want to get some clarifying questions for anybody here who's watching. Let's say I sign up for Sense with my laundromat.
Yeah.
Do I have to do online or on-demand pickup and delivery?
Absolutely not. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. We're never going to force you to do something. Sense has all of these tools available for you, but you really get to utilize what you want to. It's meant to be customized to your liking, to your business needs. We try to create a flexible system to make sure that you can run your business the way that you need to, but have access to leverage technology to grow your business, to work smarter, so absolutely not. You can always try it. You could decide it's not for you in terms of DoorDash or on-demand delivery. But truly, you do whatever you want to do.
Well, okay. So let's say I pick up Sense and I'm not ready to do that yet, but I get my business to a point. Okay. I'm ready to try it out. How difficult is it to get that up and running and going for my business?
Super easy. I'm actually super proud of this. Again, for those of you that maybe tuned in late, I am the director of operations here at Sense, and I am responsible for the entire customer experience, basically. And this is one of my proudest things, is actually developing our onboarding process. So we try to do as much as we can for you. So we have a series of at least 2 calls with you. One is really just to set up your program for you, understand what you're charging, how you want to set it up in Sense, and set up your actual POS hardware. And the second call is to train your staff. We'll do that for you. You don't need to do that. We have a Spanish speaking trainer who is incredible. We have an English speaking trainer. We can train them just how to use the program. And honestly, we've seen a turnaround of literally 5 days, because the operator was excited to get it in, so really just doesn't have to take longer than that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We got a question that came in. So when an order comes in and it's weighed on the scales, what happens? Does the attendant have to punch that into the software? Does it happen automatically? Talk to us a little bit about how that works.
I actually love this question. And it's funny because this was one of the topics that we were going to talk about, but decided to focus on customer experience instead. So, yes, so there's a couple of different things. We are a technology company at the end of the day. We have an entire division of our company focused on hardware. And one of the hardware devices that we've created is called a scale adapter. And it's a Wi-Fi connected adapter. It's literally like, I think it's $85. It works with, I think, 12 different models of scales right now, some of the most popular ones. And what it allows you to do is it allows your attendant to simply click a scale icon and collect the weight automatically while you're doing that order intake. So I, again, can talk about this topic for so long. We like literally wanted to save it for another time. But what I actually love about the scale adapter device is the reducing inefficiencies and reducing mistakes. I hear from a lot of operators that their attendants might like to offer a friends and family situation where they'll maybe shave off 10 pounds from the order total. And using a tool like this, which will simply train them that the weight is automatically coming in, and reducing that manual 3 versus 30 entry is a really incredible way to do it. So you can type it, you can use the tool either which way. Yes.
Yeah. Super operator Waleed just commented too. And he says it saves a huge amount of time and errors when taking in orders, using that service, which is what it's all about, man. I mean, saving time and saving errors is saving money and providing a better customer experience. Okay. Another question came in. Do you guys have any plans to increase CCI laundry card integration? They're trying to track staff machine usage and tracking orders with machine timestamps, generating reports, et cetera, et cetera. So can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we're integrated with CCI Laundry Card to allow you to take over the counter, to allow you to take payment using CCI cards for over the counter product sales or for drop-off services. In terms of for machine usage, we actually don't integrate with CCI for that. We have a feature called advanced processing. And what advanced processing allows you to do is it allows you to basically create a record of all of your washers and dryers in your store, or the ones that are used for wash, dry, fold. And then associate a price per turn. And then your attendants actually can associate those specific machines with your wash and fold orders. So when someone drops it off, which washer is it going into? Which dryer is it going into? It's time stamped. Why did it turn? And what we're really hoping to do there is just kind of expand your ability to have visibility into why your machines are running. Are they running for customer service washes, for example? Like just knowing why your machines are running is going to be super important. So we do have that feature. It's not tied to CCI. It's a manual effort. But it will allow you to see what's going on. And then with that as well, you did mention generating reports. We do have reports, a variety of different reports. We're always happy to build new reports. And because we honestly store so much information in our database that we can just kind of make it really beautiful. And by beautiful, I mean in Excel, but just, bring it together for you to see what is needed. So always happy to work with you on those things.
Awesome. Another question that came in is, can you talk about Sense Accelerate?
Not quite, other than what we're hoping to do is just really help operators grow their business in every way, including just how you're positioning yourself to your end customer. So from this webinar, this is one thing, but what that means technology wise, I'm actually not involved. So, but really just understanding how we can really help fuel your brand to your end customer.
Yeah. And this is a great moment to just say, hey, this webinar is, keep the questions coming. By the way, we have a couple more minutes if you got a couple more questions, but this is a great time for me to just kind of pause for a second and just say, hey, this webinar, hopefully you got some good stuff out of it, but it's meant to just be a beginning of a discussion, right? To try to help you run a better business, to help you make more profit in your business, to serve your customers better. And a really great way to do that to continue that conversation is, number one, keep coming to these webinars and all that stuff and reading the blogs and all that. But number two is head over to trysense.com. There's a button on there that says demo, or here's my link fairy. Just put the link in the chat there to everyone. So you can click on that link and schedule a free demo. And really what that demo is, and again, I don't work for Sense. They're not even compensating me. Maybe I should at least get double what I'm getting now to host this thing. But really what that is, just from my perspective, on an outsider's perspective, is it's yes, an opportunity for you to see the software, for you to see how it works, to see if maybe it's a good fit for you, but it's also an opportunity for you to ask your questions, to interact with the people behind the product, because that's what I really genuinely I do love about Sense is the people behind the product. Sivan and the last webinar we did with Alex and Gilly, those guys are awesome, and so many people that you probably haven't even seen yet that are working behind the scenes to make this thing happen. Just really great people, and it's a good opportunity for you to meet the people behind the product. And I'm just a big believer in working with people who have the best interests of our businesses and of our customers and of our employees in mind. So go to trysense.com/demo or just trysense.com, click the demo button and go see the product, but also, go meet the people too. Sivan, there are no more questions. Do you have anything else that you want to say on the way out?
I just want to say that whether you use Sense or not, I hope that you can take some of these ideas with you and incorporate them into your daily operations to grow your business. Ultimately, that's the most important thing. I love laundry. I want laundromat owners to be successful. So I just hope that some of these things do work for you.
Awesome. Awesome. And has anybody told you yet today you're having a killer hair day, by the way?
Thank you, Jordan. Really appreciate it.
Yes. I want to send you off pumped up for the rest of your day. Guys, I hope you guys are pumped up for the rest of your day too. Look forward to seeing you guys next. I think there's another webinar coming up next month. You'll see some details about that, I'm sure. It's going to be awesome. And come learn some more and come, go get to know these guys at Sense at trysense.com/demo. Thank you so much, guys. And we will see you at the next webinar.
Thank you so much.